I'm Cathy. I'm 30, and I've never had a relationship. So, why do you think I'm still single at 30?
Wow.
Um, Maybe you haven't fully put yourself out there. I don't think it's like Cathy's fault, to be honest.
Well, you have very high standards, like very high.
You've been a bit unlucky.
I don't know why you would be single. Maybe, I guess, a reflection of what's out there.
Being in your 30s comes with expectations from society. Either you're in a long-term, happy relationship, or you're a successful single. I felt like I was neither. Every year I think, maybe this'll be it. It'll finally be the year that I find someone. But it just has never happened. When I was a teenager, I remember my dad telling me I couldn't have a boyfriend until I was at least 16. Well, it turned out he had nothing to worry about.
Why do you think you want to be in a relationship so bad?
Because it's lonely to be by yourself. And I think the older you get, the more you realise that.
I feel like time's running out.
Yeah, not only do you feel like time's running out, in terms of your body, but I guess emotionally, not having anyone there. If I wanted to find someone, where did I have to go? The only place there is to go. The apps. I'd never used the apps before, and I have to admit, the app dating scene was a lot worse than I'd anticipated. This person is wearing sunglasses in every single photo. You would not believe how common that is.
What is an attractive guy to you?
I don't know, you just know it when you see it, I feel like. I feel like he looks completely different in that photo from this photo. Being on the apps, you just end up feeling like you're even more alone. It's crazy that this is how we meet people these days, through a screen and a few photos, to decide if someone's worthy of our time. I was surprised by how few of these men were actually looking for a relationship. Most men had on their profiles that they didn't know what they were looking for. They ask you for your Snapchat before even asking how your day is going. They ask what part of town you live in as soon as you've said hello. I reached a point where I started to wonder if I was the problem. Was there something wrong with me? It can't be the men that are the problem, right? It was time to ask my friends what they thought. What do you think I could change in order to not be single?
Maybe lower your standards, but also don't lower your standards.
Yeah, it's funny because I feel like a lot of people have told me all the time, oh, you need to lower your standards, that's why you haven't found
Yeah, I think it's
anyone, but it's
lower your standards and looks. not in personality.
Yeah, but I feel like you have to be attracted to someone as well, right? Like,
Um,
I'm not just gonna
I
go out
feel
with
like
anyone because I'm like,
starting with a good friendship is a good way to start a relationship.
What I would stress is like physical attraction is so important. Like I have tried to be with guys before who I wasn't completely physically attracted to, and I think there's only so much giving a go you can do. But I think probably the best relationships I've had have been with guys that I was initially very physically attracted to.
I don't know. Lower your standards.
You seem to go for the same type of person, really.
Am I allowed to talk, by the way?
yeah.
I was just going to say, that's exactly what I've been thinking lately.
Perhaps it's that you're quite particular about what things you find physically attractive.
I think if you're always going for the same guy, and I was the same, or like you always end up with a similar circumstance, there's a reason why you're attracting that, or there's a reason why you're letting that stay in your life for as long as you are.
You hold everyone to really high standards. You probably also romanticize things a bit. I feel like that's something that people our age really do a lot. But I don't know. Life's weird.
I mean, you'll find someone. It's not that big of a deal. Like, I didn't think I was going to find anyone. Now I'm dating my flatmate. Yeah, you know, worst comes to worst, crazy cat lady.
My suggestion would be to kind of broaden what you think you might be attracted to.
I feel like you're good at connecting with someone and then like never wanting to let them go because you've known them for so long that you feel like it's like you don't want to lose that, which is a very relatable thing that lots of people go through, and you're like, I've had so many memories of this person, and like I would just keep them as friends even though they've been really horrible to me. I would just keep them as friends even though that's actually really hurtful to yourself, because in the back of your mind somewhere you're like, they could come back and maybe that will be an option for me. So I don't know, maybe that me, I don't know. I've thought about it.
If it's just about meeting the right person and being open to finding someone, wouldn't it have happened by now? While most of my friends were daydreaming about marriage or babies, I was still daydreaming about having a guy not leave my messages on read. It does a lot to my confidence as a person, just never feeling like I'm good enough for anyone. I feel like there is such an emphasis on that you can't be happy until you have a relationship. Is how the media portrays life, I guess. And you grow up with fairy tales and like the prince and the princess, and that's not real life, but like it can be frustrating when people you know end up in relationships without like any effort at all. But then it's just, I'm still single and I'm like, why? Like, why? I think it's probably the thing that I'm most insecure about. Which sounds really silly because it's like, you don't need someone else to make you happy. But I think when you have had that, like something that's always been missing in your life and you've never had that experience, I think it does cause a big insecurity because you've never experienced it to be like, well, I don't need that and I'm fine without it. I've never just had it to know like I can do without it, you know. It's always been that one thing that I can't get. How's it looking? I feel like that's okay. Why do I crave being around someone so much? Someone to sit beside and listen to them talk, and listen to me talk. Why is this such a need of mine, of us, of society, of my generation? And yet we live in a time of situationships, where there's nothing official, there's just the feeling of being in a relationship that lasts for a brief amount of time, like a wave coming into shore before pulling back and returning to the ocean for more. When you're dating someone for a number of weeks, it turns into a situationship, and that brings with it the certainty of being heartbroken. You don't know when it'll happen, but you know it'll come without a warning. And then silence. I'm alone again. I have no one. I'm not good enough. I'm just myself. But myself isn't enough. And I hurt. But I can't do anything about it. I don't want other people to feel sorry for me. I don't want people to take pity on me. It's just the silence. It's always there when I'm alone. There's no one else there. So I just drive. Just keep driving. Alone. Empty passenger seat. Just me and the road. And the lines between me and everyone else. That guy that I went on 5 dates with, it was new to like have had that experience for over a few weeks with someone, and them like actually wanting to spend time with you and like take you out places, and it seemed kind of too good to be true. But then I'm like, this is what everyone experiences every day, and like I feel like they kind of take it for granted to have someone to just enjoy life with. I think people get used to it and then they don't realise how big of a deal it can mean to other people.
I think that society is shit. Mainly, I guess movies, TV shows, everything you grow up watching, basically says that women are nothing until they're in a relationship.
I think it's bullshit. Personally, I think we're a lot better. At least you weren't expected to be like married and have kids and you're like 17. So like, you know, it's a lot better.
Yeah, well, in media and movies and TV shows and everything, it is sort of portrayed as the norm, isn't it? Being in a relationship is sort of the standard or the expected. I don't think that's true of life.
Society is very much like, you know, a partner will fulfill you, a partner will make you, you know, like achieve your dreams, and that kind of messaging, which I don't necessarily think is accurate.
Like if you want to have like kids and stuff in terms of just like how your ovaries and like all of that stuff is, like just how we are is just like all our eggs are dying if we don't make more eggs. So, you know, maybe freeze your eggs. Just a pro tip. You can do that.
It's very damaging, and I can imagine it's obviously a cycle that like you've seen generations being like, I have to be in a relationship, and I'm sure that's why a lot of people have just settled for people and then divorce, because obviously people will just settle because they're like, I have to be in a relationship, have to get married, have to have children, but I'm 35 or I'm dead to the world. It's definitely a generation that needs to like change it, and I feel like our generation probably is the start.
I think personally, like it's hard And I think, like, I felt it. I felt a lot of pressure, even though, like, I'm way younger than you.
It's better to be single than to be in a relationship you don't want to be in, you know? If that's the alternative, why wouldn't you be single? Why would you make yourself feel pressured into staying in something that's not working for you?
Looking back on my 30th, it's been a lot. I went on so many dates. I talked to so many people. And even though I haven't found the right person, I'm still left with that feeling of maybe one day, which is how I started out the year. It's not how I would have liked to have ended my 30th, being still single, but I still have hope for the future. I think I am lovable, and I think there isn't anything wrong with me, and discovering that has been the most important part of this journey. And I'm sure there are thousands of people in their 30s that are feeling the same way that I am. And that makes me feel less alone and less worried about where I am in life. And even though I'm not in a relationship, I'm still happy that I have amazing friends who have helped me realize that I am enough all by myself. I'm Cathy, I'm 30, and I'm still single.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Cathy. Happy birthday to you.